Hello, my name is Derek Shaw, and this presentation is all about Mars rovers and their applications. First, we must go over the history of rovers. The history ultimately begins with NASA being created in the 50s, but the idea of rovers came to fruition in the 1990s, with the first rover landing in 1997. Many different rovers have been successfully launched and landed on the red planet, which we use for varying purposes. The first ever rover landed on Mars was named Sojourner. The rover launched in 1996 and landed in 1997, becoming the first ever rover on Mars. A unique fact to this rover in particular is that it used a lander during its entry, descent, and landing phase, otherwise known as EDL. The rover would separate from its lander upon coming to a halt on the planet. Sojourner used rover imaging and an X-ray spectrometer to explore the surface of the planet. The next two rovers, both launched in 2003, were used to find various elements such as soil composition, atmospheric composition, and possible water traces. Spirit, however, lost contact with Earth in 2011 and Opportunity in 2018. Our current generation of rovers consists of Curiosity, who launched in 2012, and Perseverance, who launched in 2020 and landed actually this past February. Curiosity used a new form of EDL involving rocket thrusters and concluded that Mars could host bacterial life. The main goals of our current rover, Perseverance, are to A, look for habitability, B, seek biosignatures, C, cache samples, and D, prepare for humans to explore the planet in the future. Looking at international rovers, China's rover, Zhurong, was the first international rover landed on Mars. Landing in February as well, its goals are similar to that of previous NASA rovers. As you can see, identical to goals. So now we're going to talk about how they work. To get to Mars, rovers must travel almost 500 million kilometers to reach the planet. Engineers must come up with ways to avoid any possible obstacles in the way. The EDL phase begins around 10 minutes before landing, and the vehicle loses its shell. Later, it deploys a parachute right before touching the surface, and thrusters fire to give the rover a last-second deceleration. Like previously mentioned, older rovers like Sojourner have landers that would bounce until stopping. And as you can see in this picture here, you have the separation stage, the parachute stage, the radar lock stage, and then you have the powered descent, and then you have the sky crane, which flies away. Once on the planet, the rover only obtains 4 hours of power each day for each Martian day, or SOL, as it's called. Communications between Earth and Mars take around 20 minutes, and engineers at JPL and NASA gave the rovers command sequences for each SOL to carry out that day. So now we're going to talk about the global impact of Mars rovers. As well as receiving extensive media coverage, the Martian rovers impact the science community globally. We're able to obtain much more knowledge by going to Mars itself through the Mars Exploration Program. So now we're going to talk about how is this possible? How are Mars rovers possible to fly there and to work? So some technologies that allow for rover use are, but not limited to, advanced AI algorithms, suitable camera systems, parachute and airbag systems, powerful thrusters to exit Earth and others to assist with EDL, as previously mentioned, and complex radio communication systems to contact with Earth. And all these things are used for the rovers to either get to Mars or once on Mars. Finally, we're going to talk about what's next in the future of Mars rovers and Mars in general. The current Perseverance rover will analyze conditions on the planet to see if the habitat is suitable for humans. Then, if it is suitable, NASA plans to begin a manned mission to Mars in the early 2020s and wants to complete said mission by the 2030s. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.